Hi, beautiful collective. Welcome into your angel messages for today on Unmasked Universe, where we unmask the universe that lives inside of you. I am super excited. I got my light. I will be setting that up probably tomorrow. But I am excited because then you'll actually be able to see me properly. The lighting in here and not being able to adjust my camera since the last update has really caused some changes in how I appear on camera. So I'm excited about that. I tried to figure out how to use my microphone, and for some reason, I don't know. I'm not tech savvy. I have to do a lot of learning in order to run this channel. So I'm learning slowly but surely, but adding technology that, just adding new technology, period, is more of a challenge apparently. So I tried to set it up, I tested it out, I did everything that the manual said, and it didn't work. So I don't know. I need help, universe. I'll have to talk to my guides about that, see what's going on. But um, welcome. I did try and I recorded two other videos that I meant to put out, that I was trying to put out yesterday and the day before. However, I they clearly didn't need to come out because I messed up the file somehow. I think I closed the program before it had a chance to actually save to my desktop. And so then those files were no good. So here we are. Welcome. Welcome into today. I do have a pretty unique specimen today. So it's one that you may not be familiar with. I wasn't familiar with it until um, someone gave me this stone back in 2016, and then it was in my repertoire at that point. So today's stone crystal is merlinite. Now, this is just one sample of it. Of course, it's not going to zoom in on it. It's got these really cool, almost like snowflake veins in it. And it's almost like a piece of glass. It's really interesting in the texture and the color of it. And it's the way that it's cut out. Um, it reminds me of somebody who was going to cut out a really thick piece of glass. Like it's almost got these circular cuts through it. And so at least from what I can tell, these come in little triangles, each one, because even in the book, it looks different. It's broken up into three sections of color, or lack thereof. However, um, it's also in a triangle. So very cool. So we're going to talk about that. And next to it is another stone, which we're going to cover too, moldavite. That's a very special stone. So all right, so merlinite is a magical stone that holds the imprint of combined knowledge of shamans, alchemists, magicians, priests, and other workers of magic and light. Its dual coloring blends the spiritual and earthly vibrations together, giving access to the spiritual and shamanic realms. This stone supports shamanic practices. Oh, I can't talk today. This stone supports shamanic practices or magical ritual. It facilitates reading the Akashic records, inducing travel into past or future lives to gain insight on how to live in the future. Merlinite can bring magic into your life. Since this is so short, I'll just read all of them. So, healing. Merlinite can be used for past life healing and to bring harmony into the present life. It balances yin and yang, masculine and feminine energies, conscious and subconscious, intellect and intuition. Position. Wear around the neck or place behind the ears to access past lives. So, when you're doing your future visioning about like trying to align yourself with your future self, this would be a great crystal to align yourself with that future self to envision or travel to them, right? It's also a really good stone for balancing that feminine and masculine energy within you. So if you're struggling there, then you may want to pick up a specimen here. And yeah, I really appreciate this one because it does work really well with light workers, healers of all types, energy workers, anybody who, grid workers, anybody who is of a higher vibration can work with this stone. And it's not one that you have to be particularly well versed in that higher energy yet. Like if you don't know your stuff, I guess is what I'm saying. It's a stone that's fairly forgiving in terms of working with it, whereas moldavite is one of those really, it's one of those stones that you have to be careful with, and we'll get into why in the video that I shoot with moldavite. I do have a moldavite pendant that I'm needing to program, and yeah, we'll get into the details about that during that reading. So I pre-shuffled. I've contacted the angels. I am with them now. I have contacted all of your guardian angels, and they are with us right now. So we will get into today's message. All right. Angels, what does the collective need to hear most today, please? What message would you like to provide for the collective for their highest and greatest good, please and thank you? Oh, that one wanted to come out. One, thank you. Oh, that one, and that's too many there. So we'll take the ones that have fallen. And one more, please, angels. Okay, there it is. They're on the money today. Wow. Okay, so we have divine guidance, angel number 00. You're receiving guidance and protection from the universe. Trust in the divine plan for your life. And then we have simplification, angel number 654. Simplify your life and focus on what truly matters. Declutter your mind and surroundings for greater clarity and effectiveness. Grounding, angel number 432. You are reminded of the importance of staying grounded and centered amidst life's ups and downs. Connect with your inner strength and stability, finding peace and balance within yourself. And then take a step. Angel number 535. Let go of old beliefs and patterns that no longer serve you. Prepare to step out of your comfort zone in order to grow and expand. All right, so I will show you the cards and then we will get into the channeled message. Okay. Okay, so angels, guardian angels, what is it that you wish to channel through for the collective regarding these cards? Oof, okay, confirmation. The confirmation that we're on the had a stream coming in. They're like, grab it. Okay, so it appears that in the collective we are receiving divine guidance from the angels, divine support, divine guidance from your team as well. So um, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your angels, your ascended masters, your elementals, elements, dragons, earth spirits, Gaia, source. You're receiving guidance from everyone right now. And they're asking you to ensure that you're simplifying all of your processes in life. And this is going back to some messaging that was coming through at the beginning of the week talking about how we may need to drop some of our obligations and priorities that we've set out for ourselves this week. It's really about simplifying our lives as much as possible and ensuring that we are finding balance at the same time. So, because this word balance came through at the very beginning of this channeling in my head, which is when I got goosebumps. But they really want you to more so, not necessarily like balance out every single aspect of your life because they're asking you to simplify it right now. So don't take on more than you need to, not do anything outside of the absolute obligations right now. And ensure that whatever you're working with space wise in your life, so whether you have a home or an apartment or even if you're living out of your car right now, whatever it is, if you're living out of a van or whatever environment you have, keep it as clean or clear and decluttered as possible. And this is the aspect of balance that they really want us all to focus on right now. In fact, the energy is primed for focusing on this task in order to declutter your home because um, and this I know to be true for myself even. I've learned through the years that the energy of your home, it allows for flow of energy. So, how things are positioned, how much space you have, or how much clutter you have, and lack of organization, that will determine the flow of energy through your home. And if you think it, liken it to the state of your home reflects the state of your mind or your emotional state, right? So if your home is, say, in it's a disaster, or it's messy, or it's dirty, or it's too cluttered, or it's disorganized, um, then this is going to reflect to you. This is your sign to you that this is what your emotional state is. And so they're just saying, like, tidy it up, get it cleaned up, get it organized, declutter as much as you can, figure out how to streamline your energy in your space because this is going to alleviate some of the stagnant energy, or no, not even stagnant. They're saying the blocked energy that is within you that's trying to leave right now. So we're going through, it's full moon tonight. We're going through this portal of energy where this is a time to release. And so if you have some time today to simplify not only your space, to clear out and let go of things in your space that maybe you haven't used for a year, maybe it's been 6 months, maybe you really rarely ever use it. Maybe you've just got a pile of papers that are cluttering up your space and it's time to go through them and get rid of stuff that, no longer serves a purpose in your life. Um, Maybe it's just cleaning up. Having a clean house also makes you feel better. So they're asking you to really simplify and declutter anything in your life, including not just your space, but if you can, if there are aspects that are coming up where you felt triggered over the last few days, they're saying that these things are coming up in order to show you what needs to be released. And so sometimes these are the the thoughts that we tell ourselves. Sometimes these are old habits or addictions. Sometimes these are emotions that we're still really attached to, and they're asking for you to distance yourself from those and learn to detach from them because all of our attachments, including to things and people and emotions and experiences, all of those put pressure on us and keep us weighed down so we can't actually raise our own frequency. And so during this time, you may feel more exhausted than normal. And that's all of these things that they're talking about. It's almost like an energetic weight on you. And so the more you can purge in your physical environment as well as your internal environment, the more you can purge at this time, the lighter you're going to feel, and then the more renewed you will feel energetically. So it's almost like you're cleaning out your theoretical coat closet or closet, and decluttering it when you work internally. And then you have all the space to see what you're actually working with, right? You're clearing out the clutter inside of you. And by doing so, you're allowing for your own vibration to raise. And in doing that, then your energy, your actual energy in your physical body will begin to open up as well. Now, there is an element of, yeah, okay. There is an element of grief still coming up, that they want me to talk about. So, many of us in the collective have gone through some really, really difficult experiences in 2024 as well as 2025. Many people are still reeling with their attachments to that grief, attachments to the emotions that came with the experiences. So we're still very, I shouldn't say we, because not everybody in the collective is there, but there are still, they want me to talk about this because there's still a lot of people who are really connected to the emotions surrounding the experience that happened to you. And so they're really wanting you to simplify the way in which you perceive that experience and to change your perspective on how you view that experience. Now, that can be difficult when you're still holding on to the emotions. And so, what do you want to say here, angels? Just lost that thread. In order to simplify, um, in order to simplify that aspect of what happened, we need to restructure our viewpoint on it. And now it's one thing to say that, um, it's one thing to tell you to detach from the emotions from it, but if you're uncertain on how to do that, then that can cause a blockage in itself. Um, so how do they do that then? How would you like me to express this for the collective, please, angels? Okay, so they want you to see it this way, which may make it easier for you to detach from whatever emotions that you're still clinging on to. So if you can see it from the perspective that your emotional experience in this world is actually an illusion, it's not actually true. So we have been conditioned and programmed into this idea that what we are experiencing here is the truth because we came here with amnesia. We didn't remember who we truly were when we came here. And so we were conditioned into this belief system of how the world actually worked, the structure in which it worked. And what they want you to remember is that all of that, while it felt very true, it was very visceral. You had all of these experiences and it affected you. Um, that all of that is just a programmed illusion. And they're wanting you to figure out how to allow this truth to be the catalyst in creating the separation between you as a soul being who is untouched and unhurt and unbothered by what happened, to create distance between the actual events in your life that created you, that were there in service to get you to the point where you had to, or where you were then able to break free from that, break free from the constructs of what you were programmed to believe. Pardon me. So they're showing me this image of a person sitting here as I am with my legs crossed, right? You would almost think like a meditation stance position. And what they showed me was they showed me the person, and then they showed me this big beam of light coming from source consciousness, okay? Coming down through all of your external chakras and through your channel and all of your internal chakras. And as it does so, as it connects to the earth and it goes through all of these chakras, what happens then, like front to back, is that your the person who you were up until now, that person who went through all of those experiences separates from the soul self. And so you as that person in the past who went through this whole life moves out of the body in essence and allows for the true self, your highest self, your core soul frequency self to remain present in the body. And now they're showing me this and telling me to tell you this because they want you to visualize that. They want you to sit with that idea and to visualize this light coming through. And as it does, it separates the two of you, almost like a knife. It separates your past versions of self from your true self so that you can view it from a different perspective, so that you can have enough space in between you and what happened to you, um, providing you an ability to look at it subjectively and detach from the emotions. And when you do this, I'm just waiting, sorry. And when you do this, this is what helps you to learn to conquer this attachment to your past, to the experiences, to the emotions that were connected to those experiences, because it allows you to see it for what it actually is. And those experiences were all choices that you chose coming into this world. They were all choices and experiences that you knew would bring you to that catalyst moment, that breaking point where you were then broken open in essence, so that you could finally come back to the truth and the truth of who you are. And so they're also saying what's important about this is that when you're sitting in this visualization or meditation, however you'd like to do it, to really embody that frequency of your true self. Because your highest self, your truest self, understands that that was just, that those were just experiences, but that they're not actually real, right? That they're not, they felt very real because you were very tied up in the emotions and the physical feelings and things like that behind it. But when we learn to detach from that, that's when we can gain the upper hand on it. That's when we can find our confidence and our ability to overcome surge through us in essence, because we are then learning to harness our truest, highest self. So they want you to take this step in learning how to separate yourself. And I have to say this in a very general way. They're not really giving me more ways to really articulate this message, because each and every one of you are in a different space of what you're dealing with. And so this method does help every single person, no matter where they are, but the journey is going to be different, and how and what you're able to perceive on what level is going to be different depending on what stage of your spiritual awakening or evolution, or however you'd like to phrase that, will be. So, what you're able to perceive at each level is going to be different, right? But this is a practice they're saying that you can take with you all the way up, because your perspective will elevate each time you shift, you release, you shift, and you grow. And you'll receive new perspectives. And they're saying, like, this will be provided to you. You will receive this divine guidance every time that you ask for it and you go into this this practice. And so they're saying, don't just ask them. They are there to support you with love, um, with, that courage, the conviction, the strength. They're there to really love you through these moments that you find it really difficult to overcome and to let go or declutter within yourself or your environment, whatever it is that you're needing support with in a emotional way. They're really there for that a lot. Whereas your guides, they want you to know that your guides are actually setting things up, like your ancestors and spirit team. They're the ones who set up the lessons. Okay, so if you're struggling to get to the bottom of why something is happening, or why you can't let it go, or where it's hiding in your shadow, if you're struggling to figure out how to get to it, or how to release it, or how to feel it, or, whatever it is that you need to experience in order to teach you that, that's what they're there to help you with. But they're saying ask for both when you go into this, because it's not just the angels helping you in this way, it's your spirit team as well. And it's a well-rounded, yeah, they're like, yes, that's the word. A well-rounded approach, almost in a very holistic way, because each member of your spirit team and each um, member on the angelic side has their own particular, yeah, has their own particular forte and strength, and they're there. You chose on your spirit team, you chose many of these people on your spirit team specifically in order to help you with certain aspects of your journey throughout your life. So they can even change throughout your life. So who you're working with now may not be the same people that you're working with in another 10 years or 20, or um, sometimes even a year. It depends on how fast we evolve. So, yeah, they're saying take a step. Whatever your belief system is, they're saying some of these things are creating beliefs. And I'm hearing that for some of you, it has been an indoctrination into possibly cultural or religious belief systems. And they're not saying, like, don't believe in God, don't believe in source, or don't believe in whatever cultural beliefs you have. But there are some limiting beliefs embedded in them, um, that you may want to look at how they are contradicting the truth. And the truth is that, and this is what they really want me to tell you, is the truth is that Source, God, whomever you call your creator, is all loving. I have goosebumps all over my whole body. Is all loving. Source would never want you to feel guilt or shame in order um, to be a part of that love. Nor does Source want you to do anything for Source. Okay. So I think this is the belief system that is being contradicted right now, is that there is in many religions, there is some belief that we need to do And because we are humans, we need to repent for our sins. And it's quite the opposite. And this might be hard for some people to really absorb and take in, is that um, this contradicts everything that love is. So, Source loves you infinitely. There is nothing that you have to do for Source in order for Source to love you. If you make a mistake, you do not need to repent for that mistake. It is you who generally carries that burden because of these conditioned beliefs. And this is where we turn against ourselves. And by turning against ourselves, we're actually turning away from Source. And so this is the message that is the most important right now, is that there are many beliefs embedded, not only culturally, but religiously, and um, even societally, that counter this idea of what love actually is. And so I'm hearing that there are a lot of beliefs around um, how we need to show up in the world and what we need to be or do in order to appease our, like, appease Source. And it's not actually about that at all. And so by choosing to love ourselves first and foremost, by letting go of anything that doesn't serve us, anything that causes us harm, or anything where we are causing ourselves harm by staying in environments or with um, maybe habits or ways of being that are causing us harm. This is this is to be expected throughout this life journey. That's why there's no reason to actually repent for your so-called sins, is because it was already expected coming into this world. It was already predetermined that you would go through these things and that you would, go through the conditioning and the forgetting and the programming and all of that. So there's nothing to repent for. It's just, how well can you finally learn to love yourself? And that is to say no to those conditionings, no to those patterns, no to the behaviors, no to the self destruction, no to the limitations that we either put on ourselves or we allow others to keep us boxed into. And this whole period right now is like this uncomfortable stage. So I'm doing this because it's like I'm feeling like I'm in a box right now. It's uncomfortable. I've outgrown this box. I need to get out of this box. There's no room to move, there's no room to breathe. I'm running out of oxygen in this small space. And so the only way out is to break through the box. And this is the analogy that they're showing and bringing forth, because they're wanting you to know you've surpassed all of that now. Now it's time to break free from the mental construct of where you are. And it's these mental prisons, these self-imposed mental prisons that allow us to stay chained and bound and small, and then we allow others to do the same to us. So they're saying, like, this is what is impeding your growth right now. This is what is keeping you stuck and stagnant, not allowing yourself to grow because of old limiting beliefs, because of all the clutter that you're still attached to, or the emotions, or whatever it is in your life, right? It's going to be different for each person in the collective. But you're you're ready to step out of your comfort zone, and fear is just a natural part of that process because your ego is dying. And so your ego's job is to protect you from the unknown. especially if it seems like a familiar situation that you've already been through. But they're saying like it's not because you're growing and evolving, and your understanding of the actual truth of the actual world of what love truly is, that has evolved. And so they're saying it is okay to take a step forward. And when you feel that fear coming up, acknowledge the fear and acknowledge that you can also let that fear go and do it anyways, because that is just simply a old program running in your ego. And you can detach from that too. And you can be okay with taking steps forward as long as they benefit your highest good. And they're self serving and loving, because when you love yourself, that is how we love Source. That is how we honor our Creator, essentially, by loving ourselves. And there's nothing else that you need to do or be but to become you, to become whole. So hopefully that makes sense. That was a long channeling. So I'm not going to pull a card or get a number from the books, but I will end it off with one of these angel cards here. They really had some deep and profound messages for you today. So they're also asking me, my spirit team and spirit guides are asking me to rely less on the cards because, the whole thing about me starting these readings with cards was because I was feeling uncomfortable with channeling just um, on a camera. So they were easing me into it, but they want me to take some steps in that direction as well by relying less on the cards. And I'm doing that little by little. So there may be a point where I will just get on here and just channel without cards, just so you know. Okay, so we have Rochelle. As you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming to you now. Yeah. So when you're having an internal struggle and you're battling against yourself, it makes it really hard to listen to your heart. And so another good practice right around this time and for this whole week actually is to, when you're stuck up in your head about something, is to write that down. All the thoughts that are coming into your head, write it down. Okay. And then go sit down for a while in quiet space and tune into your love. Tune into the frequency of your heart. And imagine that your heart is opening to love instead. Move down from your head into your heart. You can do a heart opening activation if you want, or you can just do meditation, or you can visualize this. But just imagine all of your thoughts leaving your mind. If they come back, just acknowledge them and say, yep, I see you coming in and I see you going out. And come draw your attention back down to your heart. Okay? And then once you are really truly centered in your heart, then bring up some aspect of what you've been dealing with and ask the question to your heart space and your higher self. What would the highest version of myself do in this situation? Now, your ego might try and kick in with all of these 3D or 4D type things, situations, worries, whatever it is. Whatever's got you stuck in your head is to do with generally future thinking or past thinking, right? So if your ego kicks in, then again, acknowledge it and then acknowledge it leaving and retune back into your heart. It takes practice to tune into your heart. Okay. And you may have to fight your ego until you really get a real message from your heart. You may have to go back and forth, back and forth. Let me just reteach you here this new neural pathway on how to connect with the heart. And allow your heart and your highest self to determine the best course of action. So if it sounds like it's worry or it's fear or it's anger or it's a lower vibrational state, period, coming through, that is your ego. If the message sounds sincere, empathetic, sweet, even, if it sounds soft, if it sounds like it's caring, nurturing, well-rounded, not at all in the ego, this is your heart and your highest self. We have to learn as a whole, everyone on this planet, because we're moving into this energy, how to make decisions based out of our highest versions of self. And a lot of people refer that back to the heart, right? Making decisions from the heart rather than the mind. Because ultimately, when we move into the 5D, we're disconnecting from the mind. We're disconnecting from that and we are living from this heart space. We are living from our highest self. And everything we do is a reflection of what our soul's capacity can do. So this is a good way to tune into that heart space and get out of your mind and then align with the highest version of yourself in order to make the best decision for you, even if it's hard to do and hard to follow through with. You'll have the choice at least to know what is in service to you and what is a disservice to you. What is going to elevate humanity as well as a whole and what will harm humanity. But it starts with you doing this for yourself first. And that's kind of what this message is follow and honor yourself first. Because you do deserve that love. You do deserve um, access to a good and loving life. You do deserve to be happy. You do deserve to be liberated and free. And so by honoring yourself and following your heart, you are allowing yourself to align with your future self, with all of the things that your heart desires, your soul desires. Not necessarily the mind, because the mind is trapped in the ego, right? That's why we need to distance ourselves from the mind, learn to detach from it by detaching from the emotions, detaching from the thoughts, detaching from the past experiences that we've had. So this is where I feel called to end the message. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe, join our beautiful community of light. For all of my returning subscribers, thank you so much for being here and thank you for your patience while I have technical issues. It does happen sometimes. I love you all very much. I am so excited to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you enjoyed the video or it resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. I love hearing from you all. All right. I'll talk to you in the next message. Bye.